Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna, and today we're going to do something a little bit fun, a little silly. We're going to talk about reseller superstitions, and closer to the end of the video I am going to go through a couple of things that have been going on Poshmark this week, just to update and just to, get the information out there. But first, we are going to talk about reseller superstitions. And you know what? I don't know if everyone has heard these things, but I know over my last 5 years of doing this business, I've heard a lot of superstitions, especially like, oh, I touched this item. Like I went looking through my inventory to get a sale to package. I touched this item and the next day it's sold. And it's because I touched it. I've heard that. And you know what? It's happened to me. It's like I've gone through my inventory to get an item that sold to package it. And the next day, an item that I had to move out of the way, an older listing, it sold. So it was really kind of magical in a sense. Does that mean if you go and touch all your inventory, you're going to sell out? I don't know. You can try it if you want. But we've all heard these things. I know for me, my bangs are bugging me today, but I know for me, when I get that feeling, I really need to go to Goodwill today, or I really need to go to Mission Thrift today. And it's just this feeling that I wake up with in the back of my head going, you got to go out, you got to go to this store specifically today. And when that happens, I find something good. Now, I don't know where that comes from. I know that it's really, luck of the draw when you go to a thrift store. So chances are I'm going to find something really good anyway, even if I don't have that feeling. But I know that when I do get that feeling, I absolutely have to act on it. The last time it happened was I think it was last week. I was like, I need to go to Mission Thrift today. Mission Thrift is not a store I go into all the time because they don't have a lot of the brands that I want to sell. It's just what they get donated, right? But they do have some good selection in jewelry and that, so I don't mind going in once in a while. But I went in, I had that feeling, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to go. And I did. I went in and I grabbed, the New Tag Spanx and a Lululemon bra for really, really good, cheap, for good cost of goods. So it fulfilled my destiny that I wanted to go, that I was told to go in my brain. So that's something, when I feel that urge, when my brain is saying, go to this store, I absolutely act on it. It's just one of those weird superstition kind of things. Now, going back in our history, we also did a couple of things. Like, I don't know if you know who this is. If you've been around reselling and eBay, you know that this is an Enaman. Came from, I forget his name. Commonwealth Picker. What's his name? I forget it. Somebody let me know down below. Because even though we subscribe, we don't watch a lot of his. But this is an Enaman, and we purchased it to support his channel because he gave a lot of good information. But we found that if we touched it, and yes, touching it inappropriately a little bit, we touched it, we would have a really good sales day. So we made a point of touching this every once in a while to see if it would work. So he has been sitting on the shelf for a while, you could tell. And I haven't really touched him lately. So maybe by doing this video, I'll have a really good sales weekend. We'll touch it. Touch. Another thing that we've done, this is my pencil thing from Garage Flips. This is one of the mugs. We have a few of them. We also have the knife that they sold at one point. Really great knife. But again, touch the mug. Look at the mug, think, oh, I'm going to sell stuff on eBay. And it worked for a while. Like in that silly kind of way. Now, we don't really do that anymore because they're sitting on a shelf and we kind of forgot about them. But one thing I do is on the last day of the month, or the first day of the month, I cut my thank you cards. Now, if you've been around the channel, you know that I have scrapbook paper that, comes in the big sheets, and I cut it to make little thank you cards because they're pretty on the back, right? Well, that's all the same pattern. Oh my gosh. There, that's a different one. So what I do, and this isn't even half the stack I did on the last of the month. This is something that I've been doing because it tricks my brain into thinking that I'm going to use all these thank you cards. So in order to do that, I have to make sales. So it's something that I've been doing lately, so I'm prepared for the new month. And it's just one of those weird things that I've kind of superstitious about. I have to do that at the end of the month, or I just feel like something's not right. The last thing that I do is I keep these photos That one's not the greatest, but I keep these photos by me. And I do that because this was taken at Lake Superior Provincial Park here in Canada. Lake Superior is absolutely gorgeous. And in fact, when we were talking about moving, we debated about moving closer to that. But the winters, no, forget it. But this is just relaxing to me. It helps me relax, and it just puts it into my brain that this is a dream. I loved it. It was a fantastic trip, and it tricks my brain into thinking this is what I want. It's a goal, and it makes me do my work. I keep these beside me all the time so I can look at them and just be reminded that, you know what, I want to travel. I loved Lake Superior. It just helps me to relax as well. So those are a few of the things that I do. I want to know what you do down below in the comments. What weird superstitions do you have? Do you have a magic 8-ball that makes your decisions? I wish I still had mine. I used to have a magic 8-ball. I thought it was really fun. And you know what? You could go to the thrift store and, you know, find something and shake it up and make that decision. No, I don't recommend that. Sometimes when you go to the thrift store and you're trying to find things, a lot of that is more experience and research, and absolutely those are the more important things than superstitions to run your business: research and your experience. You know what, nothing will ever beat that, but these are a little bit fun things that I think a lot of resellers do. So let me know down below in the comments what your little quirk is, since I've shared mine. Okay, onwards and upwards. We are going to talk about what's been going on with Poshmark over the last couple of weeks. They were having issues with their payments. So if you had, I think it was from the 24th of January on, people were not getting their payments. It was still processing. So Poshmark would be sending them to the banks, and the banks weren't being deposited. And people were like, okay, what's going on? Usually it only takes a day. And people were waiting, you know, for 5 payments over the course of a week or so. And finally, Poshmark did address it. They said there was some sort of, you know, glitch type of thing that was happening, and all payments should be processed within the next 1 to 3 days. So they did address it. And I did touch on this in my last video. Number one, I didn't have any issues. I had a payment from the 24th that was deposited on the 25th, and one from the 29th, which was deposited on the 31st. So I didn't really have that much of an issue. I redeem all the time, regularly. I do not keep money in my Poshmark account, period. I just don't. Unless I'm specifically looking for something to buy, I don't leave any money in there. So thank goodness I didn't have any issues, but people are still having issues. They are still waiting for their payments. And it was interesting because somebody mentioned it today in one of the Facebook groups, and they said they weren't getting their payments still. And another person commented and said, check your bank, because what's happening is your bank, you got it, it's in your bank, it's just not being updated on Poshmark. Now, Poshmark is having issues updating in the sense of something could be shipped and tracking, but it's not updated on Poshmark. I was having this issue a couple of weeks ago, where, you know what, I had the tracking number, I checked it, and it was ready to go. It was updated in Stallion, it was updated in USPS, but it wasn't updated on Poshmark. So what I was doing is I was sending the buyers the tracking number, because they do not get the tracking number until it is updated into Poshmark. So if they want to check on Canada Post or on USPS, they need that tracking number to see. Because some people were like, okay, you know, why is it taking this person so long to ship, when really and truly it had been shipped and was tracking, just wasn't updating on Posh. So right now, one of the problems, I mean, yes, not getting your payments is a huge problem, but it not updating on Poshmark, there's something slowing them down, or there's something in the communication between Poshmark and these third-party sort of places, where USPS, your bank accounts, whatever it is. And I know they're working on it, and that's really, really good. But that's what's been going on with Poshmark. Always check with your bank to see if your payments actually went through. Always check on USPS or Canada Post to see if your items are already tracking. That is something over the next couple of weeks that I will continue to do, because it's just not, what's the word? Well, I haven't done that in a long time. I don't rely on updates on Poshmark. I sort of go to the source. So I will look on Canada Post, USPS, or I will look in my bank to see if my payments have gone through. I just don't, it's not that I don't trust Poshmark, it's just they've been lagging, so that's what I've been doing. Anyway, that's about it. It's Friday. It's the beginning of the month. It is Groundhog Day, and one of them did not see the shadow, so I think that means spring is coming early. I don't know. It's snowing here just a little bit. Movie snow is what I call it. It's a beautiful day, though. In some ways, we're going to get some blue skies, which is nice. But it's February. I'm looking forward to February. I have all my thank you cards cut up, ready to go. And I am raring to go to get these sales going, because January was okay. Wasn't fantastic. It was pretty normal. It's a little bit less than last January, but it's pretty normal. I'm hoping now that February and March picks up and that the sales come through. So I need to get listing and be more consistent at doing that. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye.